Hey, it's TimeSpark11 with another LEGO mech. Here is the Amdusias Skell from Xenoblade Chronicles X. I mentioned this a while back, and it's taken a very long time to work on, because as you can see, there is a ton of parts to this. So, just worked on it a little bit every day, and eventually finally finished it about, I think, beginning of December. And recording this around mid-December right now. So first, I'll talk about the basis of it, is that I built the frame, kind of reverse engineered the frame from the Formula Skell. The Formula Skell that I've made, that was made over years and years of updating it. So the frame is nothing like what it originally was when it started out. It's just gone through lots of small changes. But I went and looked into what the frame is as it is now, and then basically just built up another one that's similar but not quite identical, because I don't have the exact same pieces that I used when building the formula. But most of it is the same, and then once I had the frame that was the same as that for having them fit together with design, since skells are all meant to use the same basic frame, once I had that, I put all the armor and weapons on top of it. One problem with this is because of all the armor and weapons, there is very little good ways to hold it. I had to add on a holder on the back, but it's towards the top, so the weight distribution is not the best on that, which makes it pretty difficult to hold up with all this weight. So here we have beam saber, miniguns on the arms, just a generic gun that I threw on at the very end. Wasn't really sure what to do for the main weapon, so I just put together a generic looking gun. Thermal missiles, and ether missile. These are based off of the grenade launcher thermal weapon. And this is just a generic railgun, not specifically based off of any particular weapon, though it's, I guess, based primarily off of the R cannon that dropped from Siders, or Saders, whatever. And then this is based off of both the shield ray weapon as well as the Kshatriya from Gundam. So they move around so they can fire forward like the weapon in the game. And just for the general design of it, though, with putting them on both sides to give it a quad wing look, that was based off the Kshatriya. Also, the head is based a bit more off of the Inferno Skell instead of the Amdusias, because I like the Inferno head a lot better than the Amdusias. I'll also show a bit more of what it looks like when you take all the weapons and stuff off of it. So because this one was built based off of the frame of the formula, that made it a lot more modular, with everything else getting added on top of it, rather than just being built from the ground up like the formula was. So this is the backpack with all the back weapons on it. These are not there for decoration, these are just there to make sure these things don't move around because of the way that they had to be put on. So I could have used a better color for this, but it was all that I had and didn't feel like coloring in these pieces that weren't even there for decoration to begin with. Also, the color scheme of this was based off of the Gustav Karl from Gundam. So here it is without all the extra weapons and back stuff on top of it. And that sword does not stay on well. So the back armor, not too detailed, didn't really put much accuracy into that. A thrown together disc bomb weapon there. This is supposed to have treads on the inside, but I put on thrusters instead, because I did not have enough treads. So a small issue with this is that if you take the heavy armor off of it, it doesn't stand up, since it was built with the idea in mind to balance it out. So if you take that off, it actually becomes too forward heavy. Unless, of course, you take the front armor off as well. So the front and back armor probably add the majority of the weight to it. I mean, they definitely add the majority of the weight to it. So the front armor, I had the treads built in. They don't really have any function, though I did make sure that they could just roll around if you put it down like this, even though there's no actual vehicle mode transformation, so there's no way to get it to roll on the ground. I just wanted to make it as accurate as possible with that. Also, I did not do much coloring on this, since I had tons of gray bricks already. I'll fix the little sword later. So that is my Amdusias Skell mech from Xenoblade Chronicles X. Still waiting for that Switch port / remaster. Unless it somehow has been announced before this video has gone up, because I'm recording this like mid-December. But I highly doubt that it'll have been announced by early January when this video is going up. So here's still to waiting for the Xenoblade X port to the Switch. And if there's any characters or Lego Pokemon that you want to see me make, then see commission info link in the description. And if you watch to the end, then comment Blossom Dance down below. So, see you next time!